Jones or Sign, you can always call me Josai. And I warmly welcome you to Ec12one TV, your number one Christian entertainment TV channel in Ghana and beyond. It's a weekend, yes, today is Sunday. And like I said, or like I've been saying, this particular session is usually exclusive with. Over the past weeks, we've had some wonderful times with amazing men and women of God. Women of God, have we had any women on board? Well, we started with Pastor Kwesi Oting, and then we had MOG coming on board, and then last week we traveled all the way to Nigeria for Labi Noel. It was an exciting throughout, the weeks. We've had an amazing time, and today is actually going to be super extraordinary. Hey. I've started already. Today is going to be super extraordinary. Super and extraordinary. So yes, today we have Queendalyn Yurglee is going to be our guest for today. But before then, let me quickly draw attention to this. From the look of things, it looks like the attention or the fear include the positive fear that we all attached to the COVID-19 pandemic is now fading away. I will entreat you to still stay or stick to all the protocols, because Charlie, that the COVID-19 is still out there, and so do not take things for granted. Yes, Mary Magdalene, it's me again. Pastor Aisha starting, and so make sure you adhere to all the protocols. Like I say every time I start. Make sure you are washing your hands with soap under running water. And also apply hand sanitizers wherever you find yourself. In the absence of soap and water, you can apply hand sanitizers, and avoid close contact with people. Also make sure to keep your nose mask on, something like this. Others prefer to call it nose mask or the face mask. However it is, it should look like this. Yeah, I look like a ninja, right? It's to protect ourselves. So that is it, because the numbers or the cases are still rising, and so please take good care of yourself, and above all, let's pray to God. Well, in the midst of all this COVID-19 pandemic, life still goes on, and today is going to be super exciting. Queendalyn Yurglee is in the house. Let me read a couple of messages. People have started joining already. Nanajwa, of course, she's going to join. Nanajwa is going to join. I see Mary Magdalene is also in the building. I see Pastor Ishmael, and who else? Let me see. All waving. Yes, today we're going to have a very wonderful moment. Call a friend to call a friend, like I always say. Let people join in the conversation, because today with Queen, she knows. I'm very sure she's prepared for this interview. So very soon, I'm going to invite Queen to come on board, and we're going to share some wonderful time together. Now, to the most interesting part, or to the part that you've all been waiting for. Yes, today too we are going to be sharing free gifts. You know what you need to do to get one? Join in the conversation. Stay with us to the end of the conversation. I have 10 simple questions for you. Just answer them right, and be the first to answer them. Be the fastest finger. When you are able to do that, you win for yourself amazing airtime packages. All from Ec12one. Aren't we exciting? Of course we are. Nanajwa, are you ready? Where is Lucy Stephanie? Please, someone call her. I know Nanajwa is always here. And of course, we are going to have an exciting time. So very soon, I'm going to call in Queendalyn Yurglee to join us, and we will soon start our conversation. I have a lot to ask her, actually. Queendalyn, you are God. Have you listened to her? She released a song in less than a week. She was hitting like 4K in less than a week. And now, the likes or the views on YouTube is around 7K or 70K. It's amazing. I'm going to be asking her what the secret has been, because Charlie, the way the song is blowing out there, so we are not joking at all. Let me see if I can get Queen herself to come on board so she shares her story. Please, if you have any question for her, if you have any question or questions for her, Let the questions flow. Queen joined finally. Hi, Queen. I can see you. I hope you're doing good. Child, my Sunday, I've eaten some fufu. And please, you guys should allow me. I've taken some fufu this afternoon. I hope you guys have also taken some heavy food because this interview is more like part to part. Yeah, 70k. 70k views. Yeah, the video is doing amazing. The video is doing amazing. Queen has joined already. So very soon, let's go and let me invite her. And then the say, you know. Queen is joining in. Queen is joining in very soon.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Joe.
Queendalyn Yurglee. I know you don't like it when I call you Queen, but you know I won't stop.
Hey, I ask for you there. I can't fight you. Do what you like. What?
You know there's no way I'm going to stop. Queen, how are you doing?
I'm very well, Jones. I'm very well. Yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We are so grateful having you here. I know you have a lot to share, to inspire, and also, yeah, for us to learn from you, definitely. And so, Ec12one, we are grateful that you are here to share some amazing times you've had, and also to talk about your music career and your single. I don't even know where to start from. Okay, let me start from. let me start from. You know, I have a confession to make. You know, the first time I saw you, I thought you were around 16, 17, 18.
Hey, I get that all the time.
Yes. Charlie, what is the secret? Oh. You never age, oh. Like, Ogan go say, you know the age, oh. What be the matter now?
I don't know. I think I can't say if the food I eat or okay, I hardly ever eat, so it's definitely not food. I'll say it's God. And then I think my family, we have good genes because my eldest brother turns 40 next year. I look older than him. So I don't know. We're lucky like that.
Well, I'm glad. Now, Queen, I've had you on set before, and we spoke about a lot of things. This time round, your viewership or our viewership has changed a bit, and so I would like us to go back and talk a little more about your musical background. I know Queen, but there are a couple of guys out there who still want to know you more. So let's talk about Queen. I mean, where did Queen grow up? How did life begin for you?
How did life begin for me? I grew up in a lot of places, Jones. I was okay, not a lot of places, but my life was literally between Nigeria, London, and Ghana. Pretty much, that sums up my entire life. Growing up for me was a bit of a roller coaster. Yeah. Let me say I was born with 18 golden spoons in my mouth or not.
Okay.
And at some point, it just disappeared. My dad had a bit of a setback. We literally lost everything, like everything. Yes, and we started from scratch. As a child, it wasn't easy, you know, because I couldn't quite grasp all that. But looking back now, I believe that I went through all the things that I went through because God needed to prepare me for the journey. So yeah, I pretty much was here and there. Lagos, London, like that. Then finally Ghana. That's about it.
And now you are stuck in Ghana. You're stuck with that.
Am I stuck?
Let's say, okay,
No,
Queen. There's this.
Home. Ghana is family. Ghana is home. So yeah.
Of course. Queen, there's this mindset that you know, music is actually for people who are not able to excel academically, but it is very wrong. Yeah. Yes, I know you have really gone up there in terms of the academic ladder. You want to share a bit about your academic background?
Okay, first of all, I don't think as I now, Jones, people still think that music is for people that are not learned. That was in the past. I don't think that is the case. I think
you'll be shocked to see people. You'll be shocked. You go, yeah, Charlie. Yeah, this is Ghana. You'll be shocked.
But a lot of us in music and ministry are very learned. I did my first degree in Roehampton University in South London, and I did my business development, and then I did my second degree in music in Institute of Contemporary Music Performers in Kilburn, London. And then I did my master's in business management as well in London School of Business.
Whoa, 2 degrees, 1 master's. Hey, Charlie, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
I want to be like you.
I want to be like you.
It's just one of those things. And someone, my family and myself as well, I believe, you know, if you have the opportunity to educate yourself, it's best you do. Even if it's not in the 4 walls of a school or anything. These days we have the internet. If you have that opportunity to educate yourself, you need to, because where the world is moving to right now, education is key. Education is really key. So if you have that opportunity, why not seize it? Definitely.
So let's talk about the music career. I mean, Queen is a wonderful singer. I've seen you, I heard you minister in places, and I was Charlie, I was blown away. Spirit-filled ministrations all over. So, Queen, I always ask this, that I know you've been singing from right from infancy, but at what point did you really say yes? At what point did you really say, okay, now this is it. I've gone into music, my full-time ministry. This is what I want to do, music.
Yeah, Jones, I don't think music was a choice or ministry. Let me put it that way, because it's ministry. I don't think ministry was a choice for me. I was about 9 years old when the prophecy came, and it just never stopped. Every single person that prayed for me, any pastor that laid his hand to pray for my family, anything at all, it always popped up, you know, that, oh, amen, God is going to use me, I'm meant to be a minister. And my dad happens to be a pastor. So my dad doesn't question God. So the moment that was established in the family, it was like, everybody's like, what's up? When you start trying to get serious with every other thing, they're reminding you every day, you have a ministry, focus on your ministry. Do you understand? It was not which is weird, because it's normally the reverse with parents, where they're like, okay, you do music, but focus on this and that, just in case music doesn't work. When my family, it was the opposite. It was more like, madam, you're paying too much attention to this. You need to focus on your ministry. You need to, you know. So I think the point where I decided, well, I wouldn't say I decided, but the point where I earnestly started doing music was when I was 14. And that was when I was discovered by Tim Godfrey. Yes, and we started the Tim Godfrey and the Extreme Crew. I would say that's when I started doing music professionally, right? Because it was no longer church choir. It was now going out there to minister. And after Tim Godfrey, it was just one person after the other. And eventually, I think when God was ready for me to start ministry on my own, I started.
Wow, wow. So how many artists have you worked with or have groomed you, you know, in terms of understanding them? How many of them, like you started with Minister Tim Godfrey, have you worked with any other artists up there in terms of Africa or Europe?
Yes, I worked with a couple of them, a couple. There are a few secular musicians in there as well, but with them it was always studio. I never went on stage with a secular artist, but with whilst I was growing up, with people that I would say actually contributed to my life in music is Tim Godfrey. I worked with Samuel Poso. I worked with Mike Haramu. I worked with Sonny Badu in London. And Samuel Poso actually opened a couple of doors for me. Cora Awards, where we were on stage with Angelique Kidjo and a lot of people. It's been amazing. And whilst I was living in London, I also was an active member of Hillsong London's worship team. So I think I've passed through a lot of hands, and I've seen different versions of how people interpret music towards God, and it's all just shaping who I have become.
Great, that's wonderful. You have a lot of experiences there. I mean, with all the big guys you just mentioned right now, I'm sure you've learned a lot of things from them, and you are still in the process. Now, let's come to your single, "You Are God." Is that the first one you've ever released? I mean, the first song you've released officially.
Yes, I released "You Are God" in 2019. Yeah,
Okay.
but it was the digital.
Yes,
It was a digital.
yes, I'll come to
Okay.
that. So, looking at where you started from, with the likes of being with Minister Tim Godfrey, being BVs for Sonny Badu, Samuel Okpozo, and all of them, and releasing your single in 2019, you think it took you too long to actually release a song? What, in between then and releasing your single in 2019? Look at the time frame. Yeah. So what?
Charles.
Yeah, what kept you waiting? What actually kept you?
I would say I wasn't ready. I think when you walk closely with the Holy Spirit, you tend to know when it's time for
Okay.
certain things that God needs you to do.
Yeah.
And I will say, all this while, I wasn't in a hurry. It wasn't really a thing of, if it was me just wanting to be a star, I probably would have just ridden on everybody I know and just climbed on their shoulders and right. But it wasn't that for me. I needed God to let me know when, because all of us in ministry, we're called for a certain time. We're called for a certain people. So if you go ahead of God, so I think I went through a lot. I must say, emotionally, psychologically, I wasn't in the right mind frame to do anything. And I felt like I was in my wilderness period where God was teaching me. God had to separate me to teach me. And when it was time, I felt it in my spirit that it was time, and all the doors just started opening. So I wouldn't say I delayed. I would say that I waited for God for the right time, and I believe that this is the right time.
Great, that's a wonderful one. Okay, so we are going to continue the conversation. We'll still be talking about your single, "You Are God," but a couple of guys have joined here. Seth Stings, Dave Caleb also joined in, and I can see Benjamin Clayman and Matthew. Charlie, names are still heavy. Some of the names you have to actually drink some tea before you mention them. GH Revival.
You can try your accent.
I'm telling you. Dennis 03. We have Mana. Hey, with their Mana Pound. Divine Boafo joined. Divine, I see you. And yes, Smell Tete also joined. Nanajwa is already here, and all of them. Please, if you have any question for Queendalyn, you can send it here, and she will gladly answer them for you. Well, now let's go to your single. When I had you on set the last time, you had released an audio version of "You Are God." Very wonderful song. After the interview, I actually went in to listen to the song very well. I enjoyed it. Now, later, you do a re-recording of the song. Why will you do that? Was there a need for you to have done a re-recording of the song? What actually prompted the re-recording of the song?
The first one was a digital song. It was a digital version of the song, which was produced by my brother Laxio Beats.
Okay.
Sometimes, and it's just not me. Honestly, if you speak to other ministers or people into music, it's like that. I remember when I was about to release the digital, I sent it to Tim Godfrey, and I said, listen, I don't know if I want to put this out or if I want to do it again. And he was just like, you see, that's our problem. You just want to do more on a song that is ready, So I put out the digital, but I still felt like I needed to do a live version of it because it was deeper than I wanted it to be deep. And so, yeah, we went ahead to do the live version with We2 Studios and Richie Mensa. And then that's about it. And then we shot the music video. It's really nothing. I just wanted to do a live version of it.
Okay, so there's a question here for you actually, and afterwards we'll move on to how you got to meet Richie Mensa and the details of songs. Though. Now, the Najwa is asking you, why did you stop singing with Pastor Sonny Badu? I mean, why did you you know, stop acting as BV for Pastor Sonny Badu?
I mentioned, hi Nanajwa, I mentioned earlier that I was singing with Pastor Sonny Badu whilst I was in the UK. So when I came back to Ghana, I had to stop because he was still in the UK. So I came back to Ghana 10 years ago. So me coming back to Ghana was the only reason why I couldn't sing with him anymore.
All right, so, okay, so I guess Nanash, that answer.
I'm seeing that question. Ask that next question.
Queen, I want to skip that one. I want to skip. I'm not gonna skip that one. We will come.
Please skip it.
Nanama is asking a question, but don't worry, we will keep it for the latter part of this interview. Now, Richie Mensa, did you choose Richie Mensa for a particular reason?
I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say it was for a particular reason. Richie is like a friend and a brother, and I know he's known for more of a secular music. Exactly. But it was a thing where we were just in the studio. It wasn't planned, you know, Jones. We were just in the studio and I said, hey, Richie, listen to this song. I want to do the live. And just played it. And he listened. It's like, and he was like, yeah, we should do the live. And I was like, will you do it? It was just some spontaneous thing. It wasn't, and he said, oh, okay, no problems. And we just did it. So it wasn't like, oh, you know, like I said, I did it with We2 Studios and Richie Mensa. So I did, it's a We2 Studios, Chris, and then Richie finished it up.
All right, so let's look at the video. You Are God video. Charlie, as for that video, I have a problem with you.
Hey.
I have a problem. You actually
what have I done?
You actually went to Dubai to shoot that video. Like you said, let me just be doing this in the video. Let me just be shaking small in the video. You left me in Ghana. I begged you, just make me here. Let's go ahead. And you went ahead to shoot that video. Look at how classic that video is. Well, now You Are God. The video for You Are God, Charlie. I love the video. I love the song itself. Why go to Dubai to shoot the video? Was, you know, why Dubai?
Okay, so Jones, first of all, before I answer, someone is asking you to read something. So when I answer, please read. Okay.
They're asking the question. I'll finish my questions and then I'll be reading theirs here. Else they'll be interrupting the interview for me.
Why Dubai? That came from my management. We were thinking about the concept for You Are God, how we wanted a lot of scenes, a lot of it was my management. Let me just put it that way. My management just said, Auntie, and I was scheduled to go to Dubai around that time. So it was a thing of, okay, let's just use one stone to kill 3 birds, right? So if you are going, you might as well just use the opportunity. Don't just go in and out and take pictures and come back, you understand, and do what you need to do. So we decided then, to myself, my manager, and my music video director, Jules. We went together. And it wasn't just You Are God we shot. We shot 2 music videos. My next single has been shot already. It's just not out.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we had to utilize the opportunity. But of course, at the end of the day, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Every part of the world is home. We're definitely going to shoot videos in beautiful places in Ghana and across the world as well. But with this one, it was totally a decision by management, and I had to follow.
Great, a decision by management and you had to follow. Let me start reading some few comments here. Queen, there are people asking lots of questions here. Let me go up there. I think Nanajwa is asking, Nanama, your question, I don't know what I should ask her, don't worry.
Oh my Nanama. Nanama, you and I will stay camera. Don't ask questions like that.
Nanajwa is asking, Is it I want to know how working with Tim Godfrey like since you've known him for? Okay, she wants to know how is it feeling working with Minister Tim Godfrey since you've known him for quite some time now. How
Yeah,
is it like working with him?
I've known Tim for a while. Like I said, he discovered me. He was my music director, and then we started Xtreme when I was 14.
Okay.
And now I am almost very old.
So how is it like working with him?
You said what?
How is it like working with him? That's what she wants to know.
He's a very upright, strict person. Yeah. I normally would use him, for example, in a lot of places. Trust me, he laid the foundation for music for me. Tim, up till date, the last time he came to Ghana with Travis Green, I was with them and we were talking about it, and they were all just laughing. And the new members of his team were like, he's still like that. Tim will set rehearsals at 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the night, every day of the week.
Wow.
Yes, every day of the week. You would rehearse until you feel pain in your throat. He won't stop. You keep going. Tim, then it was annoying. I won't lie. At that time, you are young. You're like, why is this man disturbing me like this? And we were all very young anyways. And he will push you and push you and push you and push you. You get so frustrated, but you can't do anything. You're frustrated. You show up the next day. But I salute the oil upon his life. I salute his consistency to find out that over 20 years down the line, he's still like that. He still does the same thing. He's still that consistent. I'm not surprised that God has opened the doors he's opened to him. So working with him was not easy. I wouldn't say it was easy. It was difficult. You want to you're young, you want to do other things, and every day of your life is booked. But it was necessary. And he had this thing where he says, if you have to give it to God, then it has to be quality. And if you bear me witness, his singers are one of the best singers we have in Africa.
Definitely.
If you bear me witness.
Definitely.
So it's an amazing music.
Sure. I have a couple of questions to ask you, but if you just join in, I am with Queendalyn Yurglee, one of the most anointed ministers of the gospel in Ghana, in Africa and beyond. And so please stay tuned. Of course, the truth. Please stay tuned. And at the end of this chat or conversation, we have a couple of questions for you about Queendalyn. If you are able to answer them right and answer them fast, you stand a chance of winning airtime. Charlie Dawson.
Can I give them a thing?
Apart from the way. Charlie Queen, it looks like I'm not the only one pissed at you. Becky is saying you left us all behind. You left us you didn't take us along. At least let us go and dance. Let's dance some small dancing in the video. Just small.
Okay, you know what? The next time when I'm going to Afghanistan, I'll take you.
Please, we don't want Afghanistan. We beg you. We beg. We won't go again.
But that is what ministry is. Let's go and preach to the people in Afghanistan. I'll take you.
We requested for it. We have changed our minds. Nanama is saying, left us all of us here. Nanazwa is asking, okay, I think she's rephrased her questions. I can see Killing K. Hey, Killing K. AOL joined us. OBS Studio joined in. I could also see Entry Roberts. Yes, he's also joined in. And Adewanda. Everyone that
was the first song. No, Adewanda was the first song Tim Godfrey did. That's why she's writing Adewanda. That was the very first single that we released at the time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's from Mary Magdalene. And yeah, people are. So we've already spoken about the video and why you shot it in Dubai. Now we all know it was management decision, and the video is amazing. Now, just after release, in less than a week, the video hit 40K. As at now, the video has hit 70K. Queen, what's the secret?
The way you've asked the question. Look, Jones, what should I say? Our steps are ordered by God. I think God first. When God wants you to put you out there, even you cannot limit yourself. That's number one. Number two, I have a good team in place. Shout outs to my manager. He is like an IT specialist. So for me, it's just to sing, shoot a video and hand it over to my team, and my team just works day and night to make sure that we reach out to as much people as we want to reach out to. But above everything else, it's God. You know, God is the only one that can make anything possible. So I remember when someone texted me, like you said, a week when it was about 5 days and it was about 30K, and someone texted me saying, "Hey, you know, your video has hit 30K." To be honest, Jones, I don't go to check. I just, you know, and that was when I was like, how? And so I checked and I was like, oh wow, you know. So I just give God thanks, really.
Okay.
Mine is just, I just give God thanks.
Yeah. Right. So now, speaking of management, what's the name of your record label?
Myself and my partner own a record label. I'm the only person on it at the moment. It's called The Glory Ministry.
Oh, The Glory Ministry.
Yes.
Okay. That's nice. Now, there's a question here. It's a little out of the line, but let me ask you, and let me see what you think of that. Now, there's this trend on social media that claims, that claims that your spouse cannot be or cannot manage you. Do you think it is appropriate, or you think it is right to have your spouse managing you as an artist? What is your take on that?
It's understanding, Jones. It's understanding. I think what works for one might not work for the other. So it can't be spoken about on a general basis. I think it's all about who is involved and how understanding they are. To be honest, it's not easy, right? If you have anybody who loves someone, has some degree of jealousy. Even God is a jealous God. He wouldn't watch you going over to the side of the devil, right? So it's not easy, whether male or female, whether it's a male artist with a female manager who is a partner or vice versa, for you to, as much as you want your spouse to be great, to fulfill purpose and all of that, it's not easy when you start seeing the opposite sex wanting to reach out to your spouse, right? Or everywhere you go, there are potential people that like your spouse and all of that. It's not easy, right? But I think that's where God comes in. As a minister, I think you need to really pray about your team, right? It's not by force. If you're married or you have a partner, and even if the person knows how to manage the business, you still need to pray and ask God, should I have this person on the team? And if it's God's will for that person to manage you or be on your team, I'm sure God will equip the person with enough peace of mind to be able to ride with you. But it's really not easy. For me, I would say it's advisable from my point of view, because you go everywhere together, you travel together, you do everything together. There's no there's no space for anybody to be thinking what is she up to or what is he up to now that they're in a different country. You're everywhere you go together. But like I said, it all depends on the people involved. If you can handle it, why not? And if you can't handle it, just pray about it.
Okay, that's great. Well, we'll actually come to the You Are God song itself in the video. I've listened to the song itself. The lyrics are so deep. So we will come to that side of the song itself. But now, let me ask you, you hear people, or people usually get upset, artists get upset when they are asked, apart from music, what do you do? Because they expect that music should be a full-time, it should be a career, a full-time career right here in our part of the world. So is music what you do entirely? And do you think that if music is what you do entirely, you think you can survive in this part of our world? Because over here, royalties doesn't really work much, streaming of songs. It is only recently that we have all these structures up in place. So first and foremost, is music the only thing you do? And what do you make of the fact that people who do music entirely cannot survive here in our part of the world, so they must add an additional profession?
This question there. Okay, so to answer, No, ministry is not the only thing I do. And I keep running away from the word music and going to ministry because Jones, for me, it's ministry, even though it comes in, the genre of music, but it's ministry for me. Ministry isn't the only thing I do right now. Maybe at some point in my life, I'll go in full time if that's God's will, because ministry is wide. I was just talking about going to Bible school as well. I want to have like a really in-depth understanding of the Bible. So that's not the only thing I do. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a few businesses, and because I'm learned as well, I do consultancy on business development. But with the question of surviving on it,
financial
it's not going to be easy. Yes, financial survival. Now in Ghana, we don't, it's not, we're not there yet, right? But I have seen in too many cases, God making sure that people are sorted out. Even in farming, you have food. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I think it all still boils down to, did God ask you to do it full time? If God has asked you to do it full time, then He will make provision for you.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Right.
But I strongly believe in the parable of the talents, right? And we all know this story. And every time we read it, we judge the people in the parable like, oh, how could they have given you 5 talents and you used this, or you got 1 and you buried it? Look, I don't believe that God just wasted His time giving like 4 talents to one person and then you think I can only do one thing. So I believe in utilizing everything that God has given you as a talent, right? Yeah. Of course, you need to identify what your purpose is as well. In my case, I have identified what my purpose is. But at this time, I'm just starting the music. I'm not full-time yet. I have responsibilities. I have bills to pay. So I have businesses on the side. But what I do is I prioritize. My ministry comes first. So I make sure that whatever businesses I'm doing does not affect me and my ministry. It doesn't stop me from spending time with the Holy Spirit. It doesn't stop me from building my relationship with God. So I used to be in corporate, but I saw that was taken away from me. Like I couldn't. When I get home, I'm really tired. I can't pray. I can't spend time. I can go weeks without writing any song. But now it's not easy. I'm doing my own businesses. They're all at infancy stages. But when I get to that point where I believe that God has said I should go in full time, then I will trust that God will provide all my needs and everything that follows. And I won't go hungry. But as long as that hasn't happened yet, I still believe in using my other talents, but prioritizing my ministry.
Great. Let me read a couple of messages and then we continue with them. Wow, it's been amazing. Entry Robert is of course excited about the airtime giveaway. So what you need to do is stay tuned till the end of the conversation. Stay tuned to the end of the conversation, and you get to win some amazing airtime. And Pastor Ish is saying we should go to Afghanistan. Okay, Pastor Ish, as for the Afghanistan, maybe you have to go this time around.
You go.
Now, Becky is asking, aside music, what else do you do? Becky, I think she has already answered that part of the question. Entry Robert is applauding your team. He's saying a good team, of course. And Nanama Champong is also applauding your manager here. Now, Entry Robert is saying, how do you evaluate your team?
Okay. Evaluation, yeah. First of all, I pray, right? I try as much as possible, not to involve anyone in my team until I have, even if I don't hear the still small voice of God saying, take that one, I have some peace in my spirit about that person. But aside from that, excellence is something that I don't joke with as well. I strongly believe what I have been taught whilst I was growing up. If it must be for God, then it has to be excellent, because we serve a God of excellence. So for my team, I'm not necessarily working with the known people out there and everything, but there are so many underdogs, on people who haven't gotten to the limelight, who are loaded with so much potential, right? And I like that we all grow together. Oh, even if you're not that perfect, you learn as we go, because that's to improve myself by the day. So that is how I pick. I see people, my spirit just connects with them. Then I take it to prayer and say, okay, God, so this. I might not hear the voice all the time, but once I feel peace in my heart about a certain person, then you're welcome to the team.
Great. All right. So let me go to the next questions here. Let me see. A couple of people joined as well after the question. Let me see. Andrew Robert. Okay, another question from Andrew Robert, and he's saying that should your spouse not meet your managerial expectation, would you fire him and hire another manager, or you have another approach? Should your spouse not meet your,
yeah. The Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct it. It's about wisdom. It's about wisdom. At the end of the day, the person is the person you're married to. And in as much as we're all serving, from a woman's point of view, let me take it from a woman's point of view. In as much as we are serving God as the head of the church and the head of our lives, God has given us a command.
Okay.
That the man that you get married to is your head, right? So he's meant to lead. If you get into that position of deciding that you want him to be your manager, and for some reason maybe you've, Jones, let's be real. So maybe now at this level he's good enough, and then 10 years from now he didn't move with the train. His mentality is still 10 years backwards, and you guys have like a new vision for the world 10 years from now, and he hasn't moved. He wasn't moving whilst everything else was moving. Of course there will be hitches, of course there will be setbacks because of that. It's something you should discuss, or see, there's nothing you shouldn't pray about because in this case it is your husband, so you need to pray for wisdom and figure it out. Let God just play it all out. It's either you sit down while you're a spouse, if you can have conversations. You sit down, you let him know this. I know, like, this, that. I know, like, most times with spouses, I would, and this is my opinion, I would say it's easier, even though they manage, if it's a manager, give them some shares. So if we get to that point where the person is no longer able to manage you for whatever reason, because he also might be building a business and he becomes too busy for you and traveling with you, right? Yeah. He still has shares in whatever you do, so he doesn't feel like he invested his time in you and he lost. Do you understand? Because it's a union. It's not like you're planning. There's no plan to run away or something. So it's best that whatever you have, you both have. Whatever he has, you both have it. So when that time comes, it's just a conversation. Look, babes, the way this thing is going, see, we made a mistake here. This was your call. It didn't work out. We're having setbacks. So what I'm thinking is, let's just stay as partners and let's both decide on someone new, young, vibrant, who can push us to the next level. It's all about conversations and wisdom.
Right, that's great. Hey, hello, Othniel Labahi. Sorry if I got your name wrong. Some of the names are quite heavy, like I keep on saying. Sorry. So if I don't pronounce your name well, Charlie, forgive me. Okay, so now let's come to You Are God. I've already we've been in the studio and we've had an extensive discussion on a You Are God song before, but we spoke about what inspired the song and what people, how people should actually respond or move, how they should move along with the song. Now, it is not everyone that got the opportunity to watch our previous interview. So, You Are God. I mean, just a little, let's touch a bit on that. What actually inspired You Are God? And when I hear You Are God, how should I, personalize the song?
You Are God was inspired by pain. If I should put it that way, it was inspired by a lot of pain. I was going through, You Are God came to me, I think early 2014, thereabout. I was going through a phase. I was going through pain. depression. I was going through a phase. And I'd given up on a lot of things. Silly me, I was blaming God for my mistakes. I was blaming God for my decisions that were not working out for me. I was telling God it's God's fault. I checked out on everything in my head. You know how the devil just gets you into that corner and he just starts telling you things in your head. And one of those mornings, I didn't feel like doing anything. I was just there. I literally heard God speak to me. And your God didn't come the way it was. It was like him saying to him, I am your God. I made the heavens. I made the earth, those kind of things. And I started writing it down. So your God came as a few words of assurance to me. It was only about 3 years later, 2017, that I decided, you know what, I have a book where I write every encounter I have with God. And I was going through and I said, you know what, someone else might just be going through something and would need this assuring words. Let me turn this into a song. And I prayed about it, and I just turned it into a song and added some words to make it a complete song.
Thank you very much. Nana Machampong. Okay, before then, let me official Victoria Smart, official Victoria Smart. Yeah, Vicky, she's just joining and she's saying well done. And Nanama is saying that the good things pain can give us when we don't give up but go through it. Maybe there are good things that pain can give us when we don't give up but we go through it. I was actually, we spoke about the fact that music in our part of the world is not really there yet, that you can actually depend entirely on it. As ministry should be able to fetch you, make you comfortable, and at the same time as you are preaching the word or doing the will of God. But unfortunately, it's not really there yet in our part of the world. What do you think we can actually do, or how do we improve it so that at least we can also be on par with those outside in terms of how music?
So how do we improve what, the music or the system?
The system to accommodate the music such that one can depend on music in terms of streaming, in terms of royalties, setting demands that you can make will make your life a bit comfortable as a minister of God in our part of this world. I don't know whether you get the question clear.
Yeah, I get it. Jones, I think we'll get there. Let's not rush it. We'll get there.
What do you need to do? Because
at the end of the day,
yes, if you don't input, or if you don't have an input there, of course, we are all going to stay and think that we will definitely get there. But if we don't make an effort, then it will be like this forever. So what do you think we should, what do you think we should do?
I think it starts from enlightening yourself. Like I said, education doesn't necessarily mean you're in a school with 4 walls around you. You have the internet at your disposal. How many of us, Jones, how many of us who are into ministry, into music, gospel, secular, how many of us actually understand the Western world and how the royalties work? If we don't understand it, we don't even understand it, how then will the system work? At the end of the day, we are the ones in the system. We are the ones that can put our heads together and make the system work. But we have to understand what we're trying to make work first. Okay. I've been learning. It's not, trust me, I never knew a lot of things, like places you can make money just by your songs being there, monies from views, monies from likes. We don't know these things. Even Instagram that we use every single day, there are people who are making a killing from Instagram. They're making money from Instagram. But if we don't know these things, we go online to watch funny videos, we go online to just, have fun. We haven't gotten to a point where we see the online as a business hub. Until we get to that point and understand and educate ourselves on how the systems work, we don't even know what the system owes us. Do you understand what I mean? So for us at this point, it's like, just do a video, put it out there. People should know your face. But it's really not about that. We're talking about the business side of it all, right? So if Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these platforms are making monies for people, we don't know. So if we don't know these things, Jones, what are we expecting? You can't expect. It's like your father died and left you inheritance. You are not aware. You have no expectations. Maybe you hear somewhere that, oh, when men die, they leave things. And you'll probably be sitting somewhere nagging all day. But you don't even know what you have for you to be able to fight for what you have. So I think it all starts from all of us educating ourselves, understanding the Western structure, and then trying to implement it here in Ghana.
Very well. We should all learn. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you very much. Very soon we'll bring in this chat to an end. But before that, let me read a couple of messages here. Seth-Stakes says, I always feel happy when I'm with her. I'm a very great and hard-working woman. Seth is saying...
Hi, Seth. Seth is one of my drummers in my band.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Ricky Brace, we see you, bro. Leslie Kweku Leroy, we see all of you as well. And all right, so we are bringing this conversation to an end, but let's go a bit to the lighter side.
Okay.
Yeah. I we want to know.
What do you want to know?
Your favorite food?
My favorite food is actually fufu, light soup, and tilapia.
How?
How would they? Is it your food?
How?
No, but seriously, I like fufu anytime, any day. I think it's the soup. I love fufu, but I love it with tilapia, especially the head of the tilapia. No, the soup would have gone into the head. Oh, Jones.
Aba Queen. Nigeria.
What's Nigeria?
Ghana.
Ghana.
And it's fufu you found.
Fufu. Yeah. Okay, so when I'm in London, I like carbonara. But chale fufu is the thing. Spicy, steaming hot. It's the tilapia head. Do you like tilapia head? You don't understand, Joe.
No. Me, I don't really fancy tilapia head. Marima, you said what? You said when you're in London, you eat what?
Carbonara. I like carbonara actually. It's a lot of cheese in pasta.
Mary Magdalene, please, people should come and bail me out too. Queen wants to get that in here. But when I go to camp, people should come and beg you to come and bail me here. Cabo what?
But I said fufu. You don't like fufu, so it's okay. Carbonara.
Sorry, please come and bail me here. All right, Queen, you are an amazing artist. What advice do you have for all up and coming? You said ministers. What advice do you have for all up and coming ministers out there?
Try as much as possible. I know we're humans, but try and as much as possible not to detach yourself from the source. And the source is God. I know this might sound cliche, but how I see it is, at the end of the day, God has sent us on a mission, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't keep calling headquarters to know, I've gotten to this point, there's a brick wall, do I jump over, do I hide, you see, the thing I love about the people in the Old Testament in the Bible, like the Joshuas, the Moses, they will always make sure they heard from God before they made any decision. Even if they were under attack, they would have to go back to God and say, should we fight? Should we withdraw? Should we hide? Do you understand? So as a music minister, try as much as possible. I know that it gets overwhelming sometimes, or the fame comes and is like, hey, everybody know my name, so now be guy. Listen, as much as possible, whatever you're doing, try not to detach yourself from the source. The moment you detach yourself from the source, you start to die. And there's something my pastor said, you may not die immediately. You know, it's like when you cut a stem from the tree, it doesn't die immediately you cut it. It takes a few days before it withers. So you might actually have cut yourself off from your source and you won't know, because you will still sing and people will clap, you will still minister and people will feel goosebumps. And it might just be too late when you notice that, Charlie, I've gone too far. So please, 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 whatever you're doing, whether it's prophecy, being a pastor, as long as you have a calling upon your life, try as much as possible to stay connected to your source.
All right, stay connected to your source. You made mention earlier about a single you recorded as well while you were in Dubai.
Yes.
When should we expect that out? And apart from that single you recorded in Dubai, what else? What is the project? What is Queen doing right now?
Coronavirus. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it slowed us down a bit, but I'm still doing. I'm taking this time. Obviously, we know that there's no social gathering, especially for religious outfits. So we can't really go anywhere to minister. We can't travel. We can't do much. But I'm taking this time to grow a deeper relationship with God. I'm doing a lot of fasts. In fact, we're starting a 14-day liquid fast tomorrow. Okay. So I'm taking this time to my church, but everybody's doing it from home, right?
Your church, where is that? Your church, where do you fellowship?
Oh, I am a member of the Maker's House Chapel International Hope Arena. That's the Maker's House Chapel International in East Legon, Trasaco. Yes, that's where I'm from. Okay. Proudly. So yeah, I'm taking this time to just build my relationship with God, go deeper, study a lot. I'm doing a lot of courses in terms of ministry courses online as well. And once this is all lifted and social distancing is no more, we're going back into the studio and we're bringing out a worship medley. Yeah. Great.
You're going to show appreciation to every member of your team, whoever has been able to help you throughout your musical career. But then let me remind viewers, yes, they are online. Please do not leave the conversation yet. At the end of this program or at the end of this interview, 10 questions will be read out by myself. If you are able to get the answers right, you get airtime. If you've been part of our show for the past 3 or 4 weeks, Charlie, you will not leave this chat. Call people to join. I can see more views coming in. As for the airtime, so stay tuned. Right after this conversation, I'm going to read out 10 questions about Queendalyn. If you're able to get them right, you get some amazing packages, airtime, and more. So please don't leave this conversation yet. Queen, now,
yes, John.
You want to send some shout outs or appreciation to every member of your team, whoever has been a helping hand right from the beginning till now.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you to God, Charlie. Without God, we won't be here. My family have been supportive from day one. And of course, it's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to my amazing mother. She is the love of my life. Thank you as well to everybody I passed through their hands, from Tim Godfrey to Samuel Koso, Sonny Badu, Mike Aremu, all of them, everybody I passed through. At one point or the other, they sowed seeds in me that today is evident. Presently, I want to say thank you to Ec12one. Yeah, just take your thank you. No, take it.
I'm grabbing it.
Okay, so thank you to Ec12one, Pastor Ishmael, everybody else in Ec12one. Derek, I'll call you to Derek. Thank you. As to why I'm thanking you, I don't know Derek. And I want to say thank you to my church, the Maker's House Chapel International Hope Arena, to my pastor, Pastor Guahima, and team, my choir, SI, everybody out there, and to my team. My manager is amazing. Look, even whilst I was saying that we're going back to the studio, he came to write TV and radio tour. So yes, we're going for TV. We're going for TV and radio tours soon as well. So thank you, Andy, for all that you do for me and for the ministry and for the glory of God. Thank you so much. And to my band, the Glory Band, thank you. My sister as well, Mona. Thank you. Everybody that has contributed, prayers, smiles, hugs. There are days that you wake up and you just want a hug. And there are always people there to just hug you, call you, check up on you. God bless you, baby Ray. God bless you so much. Thank you. And everyone that has joined to listen to me on this conversation, thank you so much. God bless you.
Well, God bless you too. This interview wouldn't have been complete without Batuna bread. Nanama is saying you
Hey.
you owe her bachuna bread. You owe me too.
I don't owe you jack.
You owe me bachuna bread too. So
Jones, do you want to tell people where this bachuna bread thing is coming from? I don't understand you people.
all right, welcome back. Sorry about that. I think we had a little technical hitch there once again, and so we had to go off. But we are back.